let's do this. As you press your way forward through the cozy, smoke-filled confines of Cafe Chesve, you catch sight of Frau Muller. She appears as Amsel described her, an impressive-looking woman at Aslaner descent, with coffee-colored skin and dark, wavy hair. Everything about her screams corporate executive, from her expensive-looking suit to her tastefully understated makeup. She's obviously nervous, but she's hiding it well. She locks eyes with you and hesitates only slightly before speaking. Axelrod, I presume. Herr Amsel told me that I could meet you here. I wasn't lying. He said that you had a job for me. She holds her silence for a moment, then nods. Yes, I do. In truth, I'm in desperate need of your help. Tell me what you need. She offers you a small smile. An assumed name, obviously, but I have been told that this is how you people do business. She straightens in her seat and tries on a smile. It hangs there for a second, then fades away. She sighs. From my accent, you've no doubt inferred that I'm an Aslaner. Further, you may have guessed who I work for. You tell me, I'm not in the business of guessing. As technology, the only Aslan based corporation operating in Germany. I've been with the company for over a decade. Over the course of my employment, I've worked on a great many projects, from the innocuous to the obscene. My hands have touched it all. Never once did I question the wisdom of our research. Never once did I consider blowing the whistle on my employers. Kept my nose down, worked hard, and excelled at the task set before me. Go on. Last month, I was transferred here from my home in Tenochtitlan. They told me that an employee of my caliber was needed in Berlin, and that I would be working on a project with wide-reaching applications. The only other detail that I was given was the name of the project, Bloodline. That doesn't sound good. She looks you in the eye, and for the first time, you can see the cracks in her composure. She's doing a good job of hiding it, but deep down, this woman is terrified. Seen many terrible things in my life, Axelrod. In Tenochtitlan, blood magic is commonplace. Take a moment to imagine what that means. In the underground markets, people are bought and sold as chattel. Street children are rounded up and bled like lambs. I witnessed all of these things by the age of 12. He takes a deep breath, then lets it out slowly. Seeing such things, it changes you, makes you numb. But what I found when I arrived here was worse. This project, it horrifies me, Axelrod, and it must be stopped. Tell me what you know about Bloodline. She shakes her head. The less that you know, the better, for both of us. You'll just have to trust me on that. You need only know that it is evil, and that is not a word that I use lightly. You have to understand, Frau Muller, I can't accept a job without knowing what it entails. Of course not. Your job will be relatively simple. I want you to bring the building down. The computers, the research data, the mages and scientists that are working to bring about this abomination. I want all of them burned to ash and buried in rubble. No compromises and no exceptions. Her tone softens. I'm sure that you have unanswered questions. I'm not in the habit of dealing with Shadowrunners. In truth, I've spent the majority of my career living in fear of you people, but I do know that you're the only ones that can get this done. Well, tell me, Axelrod, is there anything more you need to hear from me, or are you ready to make a decision? I'm I'm not a demolitions expert, Frau Muller. How do you expect me to level a building? You don't need to be. All you'll need is a competent decker. The facility is powered by a number of on-site generators. There are safeguards in place to prevent them from overloading. In the event of a power spike, the system is designed to shut itself down. But I know how you can disable those safeguards. Once the generators begin to overload, you have a limited time to reach a safe distance. The explosion will be quite catastrophic. Building security? Expect it to be tight. In addition to their standard security team, as technology has taken out a knight-errant high-threat response team contract to protect the building, corporate doesn't seem to mind contracting a competitor for emergency response services. That should give you some indication as to the uniqueness of this project. At any rate, I believe that I've come up with a solution to the knight-errant problem. Discuss the matter with your Herr Amsel if you decide to take the job. What about innocent people in the building? None of us are innocent, Axelrod, but if you need to salve your conscience, rest assured that at the hour of your approach, the only personnel authorized to be on site will be security and senior members of the research team. And I assure you, neither are innocent in this matter. If the Bloodline project reaches completion, nobody will be safe ever again. This sounds like hyperbole, I know, but it isn't. The Bloodline project will lead to countless deaths. I'm certain enough of this to hire you, despite the fact that doing so will probably cost me my own life. It's not compensation. 36,000 new yen, as I told your Herr Amsel. What I've allocated for the job. Well, we can't haggle. It's better than fair. I've done my homework. You haven't done your homework with me, sucker. All right? I charge extra for the Axelrod service. Okay? Check yourself. Done your homework. Why couldn't you tell Paul Amsel? And to meet you in person, to look you in the eyes and see the man behind the name. Now that I've done so, I'm sure you are the one that I need. Naturally, I will send any further information about this job to Herr Amsel, provided, of course, that you accept it. All right? It's a lot of money, but I'd have to blow up an entire building. That comes with risks. I won't blow up an entire building full of people on such vague information. I'm sorry, but you'll have to find someone else. Her face clouds with despair, and I've thrown away my life for nothing. What do you mean by that? My employers have a way of seeing the truth of things, of reading the intent behind a person's eyes. I won't be able to hide what I've done from them for long. When I took this step, I signed my own death warrant. My employers will bury me, unless, of course, you change your mind and bury them first. No, you gotta tell me what the job is, okay? You know, can't just say like, oh, this thing is gonna shape the course of the world. For all I know, they're just sitting there playing, you know, like Uno or something like that. Sorry, still not interested. And the project will reach completion and nobody in your line of work will ever be safe again. She shakes her head. I will leave my contact information with your Herr Amsel in case you change your mind. I hope that you'll reconsider for all our sakes. I don't like the sound of that job. Don't like it one bit. Glad I brought Dante with me. Dante was sufficiently intimidating. back, Axelrod. How did the meeting with Frau Muller go? I rejected her proposal. There were too many variables in play. Nods. It's your call. I'll leave a file on the mission computer in case you change your mind. I might change my mind later, but for now, you're not gonna hire me and just tell me to trust you on it being bad. No, I ain't worried about what's bad and what's good. I didn't buy repair kits, and I'm going to need repair kits for this. All right, let's see if I can solo a mission with my robots. I did upgrade a robot. I'm ready. As you emerge from the dingy confines of the U-Bahn terminal and step into the light of day, you find yourself confronted by a wall of muscle in a knight-errant uniform. You're with maintenance. It isn't a question. He stands impassively waiting for a response. Yes, sir. Have you seen any other maintenance guys around here? Yeah, they've been trickling in over the last 15 minutes or so. I've already done a security check on your entire crew. Everything checked out, so you're good to head on into the building whenever you want. I'll just get moving then. Nods at you. Have a good one. Have a good two. A young dwarf looks up at you, wide-eyed with apprehension. From the way that she's fidgeting, you can tell that she's terrified. She bites her lower lip, eyes darting from side to side. Finally, she takes a step toward you. Hello, are you Mr. Axelrod? Yeah, that's me. Am I late? No, you're right on time, but the rest of us got here early, and one of the others was pretty vocal about not wanting to wait. He took off, and the other guy followed him. They're already inside. Great, that's just great. The dwarf wrings her hands. I'm sorry. I told them to wait, but they didn't listen. They just muscled on past me and waltzed through the front door. Wonderful. We've got a job to do, and half of the team goes running off before I even get here. Trying to stop them, but like I said, but they're like you. They're trained killers. They do this kind of thing for a living. What was I supposed to do? Intimidate them into staying? I barely even know how to fight. There's nothing you could have done. I'm not upset with you. She nods gratefully. Thank you. I never thought that I'd be in a situation like this. I'm not a criminal. I'm just an electrician. I don't... Well, if you're not a Shadowrunner, then what are you doing on this crew? Her face flushes red. I'd rather not talk about it. Let's just say that someone did me a favor once, and that coming along on this thing is how I have to repay it back. Look, in the end it doesn't matter. I have to be on this run, and you have to bring me along. It's what they want. I'll try to get you through this safely, but I can't make any promises. Nods eagerly. Thank you. I really, really mean that. No problem. Now, you said that our teammates are already inside. Are you sure about that? Yeah, I watched them storm through the front doors of the building that we're going to hit about 10 minutes ago. A lot can happen in 10 minutes. They'll still be on the first floor. Nobody's getting upstairs until I bypass security locks on the elevator. That's why I decided to wait for you out here. I figured that they couldn't get too far ahead of us if I didn't go inside with them. Alright, let's get in there before they blow the run. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Mid-level corporate compound, complete with living spaces on the upper levels. There's music. There's a nice little melody going on in there, you know? Nice. As you step through the door, you find yourself confronted by a pair of men wearing the same kind of uniform that you are. Judging by their expressions, there is no love lost between the two. Hearing the door swing open, they turn to face you. The shorter of the two, a human with arcane symbols tastefully embossed into his belt, glares at you. You're here, finally, and you've brought our little mouse of an electrician with you. Better late than never, but not much better. You're tardy enough as it is. He jerks his thumb at the elf standing beside him. I'll leave it to you to keep our pack mule in line. The elf's lips curl into a snarl. Hanging from his back is a bulging pack that looks incredibly heavy. His broad shoulders sag under the weight of whatever's inside. He's dumb as a post, but he can lift heavy things. Might not be bad in a fight either, at the very least. He can soak up a few bullets for the rest of us. Staring daggers at the mage, he spits out a long string of foreign words in a single, certain breath. The sound of it is lovely, but his expression leaves little doubt that the message behind the words is an ugly one. Oh, and I hope you can speak Sparathiel. He shakes his head in disgust. Darn useless immigrants. Do us all a favor and keep your opinions to yourself. Corner of his mouth lifts an ugly smirk. May be the leader of this team, but I'll speak my mind whenever I please. Get used to it. Oh, and by the way, think you could have gotten here any later, pal? I've got an important meeting to get to, and if I'm late, the stuff is going to hit the... This isn't getting us to your meetings any faster. He flashes a hateful glance at the dwarf, then turns his attention back to you. No, it isn't. So let's get to the penthouse and plant the cameras. I'll mask them against detection, and we can all go our separate ways. The elf mutters something under his breath, and hitches the bulky pack up a little higher on his back. His muscles bulge under the strain of it. Looks like you drew the short straw on the team assignments, friend. The elf blinks uncomprehendingly and takes a step back. Told you, he can't understand a word you're saying. Nothing's come out of his mouth, but that pigeon drivel the elves call a language. A Taingir dialect, if I'm not mistaken. I wish you'd do us all a favor and go back. Can you understand me at all, brother? The elf's dialect is completely foreign. It's quite unlike the form of Sparathiel spoken by the elves of Tirna Nog. You only managed to catch a few words. You terrible insolence of threatening. See if at all. Look, just be calm, my friend. Words don't seem to have much impact. The elf's scowl deepens. I get the distinct impression that none of you actually want to be here, but we've got a job to do, so you're all gonna have to suck it up and deal. Mage leers at you. Wonderful pep talk. Really, really magnificent. I can see why you were placed in charge of this run. Now can we please get moving? I don't have all day. We know. You have a meeting. I can get us to Alisher's apartment, but there are a few things that we'll need to do first. You can bring me to a building access panel that's on the same circuit as the penthouse. I should be able to put the security system into maintenance mode. The job will take some creative rewiring. Well, that and whatever's in that pack that Elf is carrying. Our employers gave me the schematics. And do you know where we'll find that access panel, Mouse? Quit calling me that. She takes a moment to calm herself. And yes, I do. There's an access panel in one of the mid-range apartments on the same floor. My contact gave me a key code that should get us in. You said should twice already. That makes me feel uneasy. Well, there's nothing that I can do about that. It's the plan that I was given, and we're stuck with it. Unless you have a better idea, we'll just have to follow our instructions and hope for the best. He turns to face you. Get me to a building access terminal on this floor, and I can rewire the elevator. Well, that's the first thing we'll need to do. Once we're upstairs, we use the code I was given. I rewire Alisher's security system, and we hide the cameras in his apartment. Her brow furrows. Well, that's the theory anyways. Alright then, let's go. Take a closer look. A boutique food kiosk. The sign out front advertises a variety of locally sourced foodstuffs, all of them terribly overpriced. Look. Glancing in the self-serve refrigerated section of the kiosk, you find a variety of sandwiches wrapped in slick plastic. You could eat for a week for the price of one of these things. Probably don't want to go there just yet. Taylor. Oh, is this? Guard's stance shifts slightly as you approach. Can I help you? Oh yeah, could you open the door to the utility area? We have some work to do in there. Can't read the guard's expression through his mirrored face mask, but his body language makes it clear that he's staring at you. Store is security coded, Delta grade. Your ID says that you're Theta, so no, I can't open the door. You're not listening. We have work to do in there. I heard him loud and clear, Mop Jockey. Now you listen to me. Nobody without Delta grade clearance gets through this door, period. Suggests that you talk to management. You really need to be in here. They'll upgrade your clearance, otherwise piss off. Cool down, we're on the same side here. This is just a dispatch problem, I'm sure of it. I don't envy you guys having to work with them every day. The guard's shoulders relax. Yeah, I hear ya, I swear. It's amazing that anyone gets anything done at all around here. Tell you what, you don't need to go all the way back to management. Just call in and get your clearance changed. I'll let you guys in as soon as the authorization comes in. My comm link's down. I'll need to use one around the corner. Thanks for everything, man. Catch you later. like a fool. Passive aggressiveness, the game. Tech vendor. A woman behind the counter smiles at you, her cheeks dimpling. Good afternoon, and welcome to Augment Tech, the boutique that makes a better you of you. Her voice is overflowing with forced cheerfulness. Idly, you wonder how many times she has to give this exact speech every day. Tell me, how can I help you? What you got? Come to the right place. Let's see. Get the catalog terminal, scanning over tastefully, blah, blah, blah. Stuffs. At the back of the catalog, you find some more practical chrome, but nothing that a Shadowrunner would want. The mental enhancement section is a little more promising. You don't see anything that you couldn't already find in Cruise Baser. You're about to turn away when an ad on the last page grabs your attention. The newest iteration of the Encephalon system, complete with an integrated math SPU. Encephalon Next, as it is called, is bleeding-edge tech, commercial-grade tech. No non-compete agreements prevent it from being sold at most stores, but found one that carries it. Hey, this headwear looks interesting. Mind if I take a look? She glances at the item on screen. Looking at the new Encephalon, huh? Good choice. Our regional supervisor has one, and it's amazing. Totally worth the price. And what is the price? It doesn't say on the screen. We're doing a special right now. Yours for that much. Alright, sign me up. It's wonderful. Good choice. I'll just swipe your cred stick, and then I'll print up your purchase order. Where do I go to get it installed? Is your dock in the back or something? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid that you don't understand. We're a boutique shop, not a cyber surgery clinic. We can sell you the device and have it sent to the clinic of your choice for the installation, but we don't do the surgery here. Of course, your doctor will bill you separately for the installation, but this way you can ensure that the procedure is carried out from wherever you're most comfortable. Sure. You're now the proud owner. Thank you, sir. Well-groomed corporate couple stand in the counter, browing racks of pamphlets about neural enhancement headwear. Woman's head turns to the sound of your approach. On seeing your uniform, her nose wrinkles. Oh, hello. Are we in your way? We wouldn't want to keep you from your work. Everything's fine. We're just doing routine maintenance checks. Well, don't let us get in your way. To enjoy your day. Janice studies the junction box for a moment, then turns to face you. See that guard in the hallway? Well, he was standing next to a junction box like this one. Looks like they're both on the same circuit, too. So? Well, I could use this one to overload the one that the guard is standing by. She looks at the junction box again and nods. Yeah, I could feed a nice power spike into the one from here. You know, if you wanted me to. We'll find another way, for now. We finish doing all the stuffs. Alright, let me see the suits. What you got? +2 charisma. Wow. Let me sell that. Sell that. We sell that. We won't sell that. Let me go to the security room and what that can get me. The well-dressed orc stops pacing to stare at you as you approach. Heavy worry lines etched his forehead, and his eyes are bloodshot. He looks like he hasn't slept in a month. I don't want to be rude, but I'm a little busy right now. If this is about building maintenance, take it somewhere else. James's cheeks flush red. He takes a step forward. Watch it. You don't get to talk down to me like York bristles. Like a janitor? Yes, I do, because that's what you are. If you want to keep wearing that uniform, you better watch it. The attitude. Now, isn't there a floor that you could be cleaning or something? Got a lot on my mind to worry about, important things. I don't want to be bothered. Hey man, relax. I'm sure it's all going to work itself out. With a visible effort, he calms himself. Look, sorry, I'm not trying to be unpleasant. It's just that I have a huge presentation to give to the board in 20 minutes. I stayed up all night practicing it, and now I'm so tired I can't even remember my own name. It's rough. He shakes his head miserably. I'm gonna botch this, and the worst part is, most of those bastards will assume that it's because I'm an orc. They already make jokes behind my back. After this, it's gonna get a lot worse. That's tough, man. He scowls. That's tough. Alrighty. Let's see if we can do anything here. Guard steps forward, interposing himself between you and the terminal. Your security clearance doesn't authorize you to be here. We're doing a building-wide maintenance sweep of all major systems. Want us to take a look at your terminal. You know that I can't do that. You don't have the appropriate clearance to touch this terminal, let alone service it. Besides, it's been running great since the other maintenance team worked on it last week. Surprised that you don't have that in your records. You know how it is with us in management. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. It's ridiculous. Story of my life. You have my sympathies. Alrighty. Looks like we're going to murder that guy. Do it. Wordlessly, Jana pops an access panel at the base of the terminal and begins snipping wires. A few minutes later, she replaces the panel's cover and stands. Alright, that should do it. I bypassed the security lock on the elevator. We're good to head upstairs. Get moving. Let's. Can we drag this guy's body in there and close the door? Alright, I'm going to need you to get me to this floor's access panel. That'll be in room 303 on this floor. The door's combination is 14291. I'm just going to write that down. Room 303, 14291. Make sure you write that down. I have written it down. Yeah, I've got it. Okay, once I'm there, I can put the penthouse door in maintenance mode. That'll set its key code combination to 11111. Shouldn't have any trouble getting into plant the cameras. We've been making halfway decent time. Not good, but not terrible. But I can't afford any delays. He cracks his knuckles. Hope that no one gets in our way for their own sake. I'm with you there. Let's get this done. Let's. The sooner I'm rid of you people, the better off we'll all be. The first thing you've said that I think we all agree with, and if we didn't need you to finish the run, I'll bet that Axelrod would have beaten the tar out of you already. His lip curls into a sneer. Sadly for all of us, you do need me. Believe me, I wouldn't be here if you didn't. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna have words when this run is over, Mouse. A stream of caustic syllables pours out of the elf's mouth. His back is stooped under the weight of his pack, and his hands have clenched into fists. He rolls his eyes and points a bony finger at the elf. Look, it's trying to speak. I want to get this over with, Axelrod. I want to get away from these people and go home. Alright, looking for 303. This trendily designed, I was like, who is that? Apartment 303, high grade security pad. Here's the keypad. Code 14291. Okay. Gotta clear the building first. Moving the painting aside, you find a large maintenance access panel. Jana steps forward, a slight frown on her face. Okay, I guess that this is me. She pulls a multi-tool from her belt and uses it to loosen the bolts that hold the panel in place. Pulling up a schematic on her PDA, she examines the terminal's writing, or wiring. Hurry it up, woman, the clock is ticking. Don't rush me, this is complicated. Popping the lid on her toolbox, she grabs a pair of wire clippers and a soldering gun and a roll of electrical tape. With a look of grim determination on her face, she begins to snip into a massive harness of cables that run through the unit. Alright, she taps the elf on the knee. I'm gonna need that thing now. He nods and reaches back to unsling his pack. Placing it on the floor, he opens it and pulls out a large blue canister. Takes all of his strength to wrestle it up from the ground and into the space in the access panel that Jana has cleared. There you go, you dumb ox. Do something useful for a change. The elf says nothing. Unburdened by the heavy pack, he stands up straight, and for the first time you appreciate how much larger he is than the corporate mage. He stares down at James, and his hands bunch into fists. Alright, cool, man. We're almost done. If the elf understands you, he shows no signs of it. He continues to stare James down, and the mage continues to ignore him. Payload in place, Jana goes back to work. It only takes a few minutes for her to screw, wire, and solder the canister into the harness. She inspects her work, nods, and turns to face you. She stands and brushes the hair out of her eyes. Alright, job's done. We just need to do a bit of cleanup, and then we can get out of here. Nice job. Yeah, thanks. It wasn't all that difficult. Just a matter of following our employer's instructions. Hey, that's great, but time's a-ticking, and let's keep moving. He glances at the jumble of wire and circuitry through the open access panel. To heck with the cleanup. We'll be gone before anyone notices anything anyway. Just a second. What was that canister that you put into the terminal? She shrugs. Beats me. For all I know, could be full of pixie dust. They said that I had to wire it into the wall at this junction, so I did. Lawyers don't tell us much, do they? And Mage sneers. You haven't been doing this long, have you? The Lodge doesn't tell you things that they don't need to know, or that you don't need to know, and you don't ask. Your job is to do what they tell you. Take the money and keep your mouth shut about it afterward. It's all very simple. The Lodge. Mage's eyes widen incredulously. You don't even know who you're working for, do you? You're leading this team and you don't even have a clue. Then it cuts in wise. Both of you shut up, somebody's coming. A tall, deeply tanned man rounds the corner at a jog and comes bustling into the room. You recognize him as the father that you spoke with at the Augmentech kiosk. He stops short when he sees your team, and the smile falls from his face. You, the guy from the cyberware kiosk. What the heck are you doing here? He advances on you, full bluster and bravado. This is my apartment. I own it. Can't just waltz in here and start pulling the walls apart without my consent. We're maintenance. Look at the uniforms. Yeah, I see that. But that doesn't give you the right to force your way into my home and start tearing up my walls. At the very least, you should have given me advance notice. James shoots you an irritated glance. This is a waste of time, and I'm already running late. If you don't take care of this idiot, I will. The elf barks something out at James. The sound is uncharacteristically ugly, all harsh consonants and sibilant hisses. Let's keep calm, everyone. This is a simple misunderstanding. Misunderstanding my booty? Your friend just called me an idiot in my own home. He wheels on James, his hands balled into fists. Want to know your employee number, and I want to know it now. Mage raises an eyebrow, smiling. Do you now? I'm a member of the Homeowners Association for this level. You know what that means. I have a lot of pull with building management. He thrusts an outstretched finger at James. Your days wearing that uniform are numbered, I promise you that. Calm down, sir. There must be a problem at dispatch. You should have received a work order last week. I didn't receive a thing from dispatch, or from anyone else for that matter. My wife and I are entertaining guests here in an hour and a half, and our living room is ruined. You need to know that you're going to fix this, and that you'll clean the place back up, and that you'll put a new coat of wax on the floors. I need. The heck with it. I don't have time for this. His hands twist into claws, and he raises them high. An instant later, they are wreathed in an unnatural purple glow. James, stand down. We do not need to kill this man. The glow intensifies into a scintillating torrent of light. The energy lances and stabs out of James's hooked fingers as if it were alive. The man in the doorway recoils in alarm, and his palm slaps down on a plastic disc that has been clipped to his belt. Too late, you recognize the object, a panic button. The air fills with the cacophonous wail of screaming alarms. James jerks back, his concentration broken. From down the hall, you can instantly hear the sound of heavy footsteps approaching at a run. Meanwhile, the homeowner backpedals, trying to put a wall between himself and James. He's moving too slowly, much too slowly. And James, let him go, darn it. Mage's response comes out as a snarl. Bastard tried to bring security down on us. He isn't leaving this room. An incomprehensible screech cuts off the mage's sentence. In your peripheral vision, you catch a flurry of motion. Your elvish companion is moving, making a beeline towards James. Jana is hanging off of him, trying to slow him down, but he barely seems to notice. Stop, darn it. We need him alive to complete the run. With a kick, He sends her tumbling to the ground, then turns towards James. Step between Elf and James. I hate the bastard too, but Janna's right. We need him. The elf comes up short, staring at you. He sweeps his vision from you to Janna to James. Then he exhales heavily and spits out a jumble of broken German. Killers innocence of will not stand for. I not slave. All lodgemen bastards. I kill all. Okay. Looks like I'm fighting you now. Control the length. What do we have here? Increases chance of critical. It did not crit. Oh, do you have 3 AP? I didn't think you had a weapon. Alright, Mr. Mage. And damage. Oh, you missed. Heal yourself. Alrighty. Oh, all of them have 3 AP now. Target that guy. Stop killing the drone! Hold. Start bringing me out. Okay. Creep on up. Oops. That was supposed to be you. There's our enemies. Mage. Oh, shooting my homie. We spread out the damage or something. Of course. All right. The mage wiped splatters of blood from his cheek with the back of his hand. He attacked me. Our elf. The Suckafu tried to kill me. You've been insulting him ever since we arrived here. What did you think was going to happen? His face flushes red. If you'd been a better group leader, you wouldn't have let that happen. You'd have... For the love of God, shut up. Just stop talking. We're both sick to death of you. You need me to. To finish the mission, yeah, that's true. But if you don't shut your smug mouth of yours right now, you're going to arrive at your meeting without a tongue. On another word, the mage turns and stalks off in the direction of the penthouse. Trinity designed penthouse, blah blah. Here's the keypad. Ones. It's the first camera. It adheres to the ceiling with an audible click. James steps forward, his fingers bent. He whispers a long string of hushed syllables that seem to vibrate in your mind. The moment nothing seems to happen, then you blink and the camera is gone. Done. Good, moving on to the next one. Well, I don't know if we're gonna pass this mission with flying colors here. Take some medical supplies. When we get through with this run, I'm going to tell my handler all about you. You won't work for the lodge again. Not because you're an incompetent leader, but because I have pull and don't like you very much. What do you have to say about that? This entire run is a test. I think you're here to tempt me into losing my cool. That isn't gonna happen. That infuriating smirk returns to his face. Yeah, that's right. This is all about you. Just keep on believing that and see where it gets you. He whispers to the third camera, and soon enough it fades from view. That's it, we're done. Let's go. Oh dear. That reduces my accuracy. That's interesting. Hello. Wow. Okay. steal from here? Nice. Deal with that. Need you to not miss 92%. Please and thank you. Terminal is locked for security. Okay. Well, yep, I don't think this mission is gonna work out so well. Hey, we are still scrapping with suckers. Run away. A lot of damage. Oh, you healed? What a sucker. You're still scrapping with something. Damage. Alright, I'm quite pleased with this new drone that I have. Working out quite nicely. Yeah, this mission was a complete botch. Mission accomplished. Freaking finally. Call your handler and tell him the job is done. And be quick about it. I need to be on the next train out of here. Once he and I are in agreement, I can't put this place behind me quick enough. All I want to do is go home, hug my cat, and forget that tonight ever happened. Enter the comm, you punch Luca Duer's comm code into the PDA. A few seconds later, you hear the telltale click of a successful connection. Duer's voice pours out from the PDA speakers. Axelrod, the job is done, I trust? Yes, everything has been completed to your specifications. Very good. Now, if you please, give me a status update on the members of your team. The elf from Tyr Tanger turned on us. We had to put him down, but Jana and James are both alive and well. He clucks his tongue softly. Interesting. That the elf is dead was expected. He was a dangerous and unreasonable person, disgruntled, you might say, after years of service in our employ. Betrayal of you was inevitable. Thankfully, with his death, we have gained valuable insight into your character. James's continual survival, on the other hand, was not expected. You are a very patient man, Axelrod. This has been most informative. James's posture stiffens, but he says nothing. You can see a dawning awareness behind his eyes, though. Slowly, the color begins to drain from his face. Now, let's see how adequately you completed the task that I set before you. Please enter the following code into your PDA, please. I'm going to write this one down just in case. I think I wrote it down wrong. Yeah, there's a 9 in there that should not be in. 5256719. You type in the code as instructed and your PDA screen cuts to static. A moment later, a familiar image materializes on the screen, the penthouse room that you bugged. It appears to be a live feed from the cameras that you planted. You're sure that this room is secure? You've done a full sweep. Absolutely, sir. We've run multiple sweeps with a complete sensor package, and we brought a mage to search for signs of astral tampering. It all checks out clean. You're completely safe in here. Let's out a heavy sigh. Thank God. Call downstairs and let my wife and kid know that it's safe to come up. Will do, sir. Is there anything else that I can do for you tonight? No, thank you. That will be all. You have a good... Suddenly, the air in the room seems to ignite. There is a blinding flash and your PDA screen cuts to static. And that takes care of that. Please return to the cruise baser. The remainder of your post-run interview will conclude upon your arrival. Hang on, what the heck was that? Raises an eyebrow. What did it feel like? An explosion, of course. Now, this wasn't a surveillance operation, it was an assassination. It was both, and both tasks were carried out, to the letter. You should be pleased, Axelrod. The run was a resounding success. Another satisfied customer. When I get hired to do a job, I deliver. Anna covers her mouth with her hand, a horrified expression on her face. Oh God, I killed someone. That man is dead because of me. From the sound of that explosion, I'd guess that you killed a fair number of someone's. Alashire and his bodyguard at the very least, and probably a good half dozen more. A morbid grin creases the mage's thin-lipped mouth. And that makes you a mass murderer, Mouse. You're moving up in the world. A sob racks her chest. She begins to hyperventilate. I can never get away from this. This is going to follow me for the rest of my life. I killed people. I'm a murderer. Say it louder, why don't you? I don't think they heard you in France. I haven't heard a response from you, Axelrod. Shall I make the preparations for your post-run interview? Are you ready to continue your test? Looking forward to hearing what you have to say about this, doer. I'll see you soon. Very good. I'll be waiting. The test is not over yet. I still have to do the post-interview, but it seems like it's off to a good start. You know, the elf was supposed to die. I'm sure there's a possibility that he could survive, which would have been absolutely great. And it is really kind of a shame that he just, dies. But the mage is annoying. I get it. Two karma? That's it? You know what I had to do on that job, man? Level up the homies. Fires a discarding round that ignores armor completely. 2 AP. Shotgun ability that sets the target on fire and strips 1 armor, ongoing damage. I like that. Let's see. Basic nerve bolt now flushes enemies from cover when they are hit, or gain 1 armor. I like this. I've been using this more. This is turning to be quite useful. Okay. I'm gonna go with this. Just like... I'm gonna go with this. I know it seems like a mistake, but I'm gonna do it. Decking is increased by 1. ESP control is increased by 1. I'm gonna go with decking. I feel like that sounds better. How much karma do I have total? Just 2? Yeah, let's quick save. Thanks, Rod. Welcome back, and my congratulations on a job well done. If you wanted Alishire dead, you could have just said so. I'd have taken the job either way. Nods thoughtfully. Good to know, but the purpose of this test is to gauge your adaptability. We need to know that you'll be willing to do what we tell you to do, regardless of your personal feelings on the matter. And we need to know that you'll roll with the punches if circumstances change mid-run. Many of your colleagues in the Shadow community have overinflated egos. They let their personal feelings interfere with their work. My organization needs to know that you'll see tasks that we assign you through no matter what. Okay. The true purpose of the run was that you just went on was to test your willingness to adapt to change. You're still being tested, by the way. If you work for my organization, you may be asked to do things you will find morally troubling. Sometimes it might even appear that we are lying to you, but you can take comfort in knowing that everything we request of you is ultimately for the greater good. What is this greater good? Define it for me. You can't see the big picture. I can't either. I am again just a mouthpiece. The only ones who know my organization's ultimate ends are its ruling council, and they aren't in the practice of sharing information with their hirelings. But know that they are some of the most intelligent men on this planet, and they place a high priority on social order and stability, and those are good things by anyone's standards. So, he stares you in the eye. What do you think of all that? Every client I've ever worked for has kept secrets. I don't see how this is any different. For a brief pause, he nods, then reaches forward and places the cred stick into your hand. Congratulations, you have passed your audition. Welcome to the payroll. What happens now? Now we part ways. Don't worry, I'll call you when your services are needed. He taps a neatly trimmed fingernail against the earpiece of his comlink. When I contact you with a new task, the choice of whether to take it or leave it will be yours. If you take it, return here and I'll pay you a fair sum for your services. If you leave it, well, there are some in my organization who will be quite unhappy. Good to know. Suppose I'll be waiting to hear from you then. Very good. I'll be in touch. Alrighty. Well, this is where we're going to call it quits for today. Looks like I'll have to accept the new job and figure out where we go from there. But yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow. Right, yep, tomorrow, 7 a.m. Pacific. Going to continue with some more Shadowrun Dragonfall. And I'll accept... I guess there's only 2 more missions to go. Unless a new mission pops up. I either do the medical mission, or I stop the bloodline thing, which requires me to blow up a building. And not too excited about blowing up a building. That does not sound like a good idea. But I guess we'll figure that out tomorrow. See ya the next time I see you. Peace.